Hi, I'm Feroz Khan, and welcome to Drag and Drop Low Code Unplugged, the podcast where we explore the game-changing impact of low code in software development. Join me in insightful conversations with IT leaders and passionate low code enthusiasts who are at the forefront of this digital evolution. Together, we'll explore how early adoption of low code is giving businesses a competitive edge on a global scale. We'll discuss its impact on software development, dissect its role in transforming businesses, and uncover the ways in which it's reshaping career trajectories. So whether you're a seasoned IT professional or a curious enthusiast, be sure to tune in as we share success stories and unravel the mysteries of low code. Subscribe now and stay tuned for a front row seat to the revolution that's shaping the future of technology. So let's go. Hi Nivaldo, how are you?
Hello, Khan. I'm fine. Thanks. And you?
Yeah, I'm good, thank you. Thank you for taking the time to be a guest on the podcast.
Thank you. I'm the one that thanks you for the invitation. So thank you.
Like I said, before reaching out, I followed you on LinkedIn for a while, so I've seen you do a lot of posts and you like to give your points of views on things. So I thought it'd be good to hear it live, definitely,
Yeah, I
rather than
tried to.
LinkedIn.
I tried to.
Well, it'd be great to start with, if you can tell us a bit about yourself, who you are, where you're from.
Okay. How much start you want in the beginning?
Yeah,
But
as far back as you like, yeah.
but just to give a background about me, I'm from Cape Verde. Let me. I have here some thing that shows the Cape Verde Islands. It's
Ah, cool.
10 islands,
Nice.
the Atlantic Ocean. I was born and raised there, and I came to Portugal to study, and I ended up staying here, and I started working. By the way, I did biomedical and biophysics engineering. After finishing, I went on searching. Actually, the first thing I did is I tried to go to Cape Verde, but I was not finding anything that I liked. And in
Mm.
my area of expertise, or at least similar to that, so I came back to Portugal, where I did get my first consulting job, uh, and there is where everything started in terms of OutSystems. From there, yeah, I end up being in some other consulting firms until I get to the position I am right now. But yeah.
Amazing. And when you decided to stay in Portugal, is that something that was quite straightforward? Obviously certain countries need visas, things like that. Was it quite straightforward?
For
Um,
me, it was
yeah. Mm.
because Portugal have a law that after a certain amount of time, you can apply for citizenship, and I did apply. I
Mhm.
got it, so it was easy in those
Yeah.
terms. But yeah, it's actually kind of something that it's not that straightforward when you don't have the let's say um, in terms of law you are not with the parameters that
Yeah,
you
sure.
can apply. In my
Mhm.
case, since I was studying and I got the many years that you can have to apply, I did apply. It was kind of straightforward. Yeah.
Yeah. And all your family is still in Cape Verde, or you've moved them over,
Yes,
or okay.
beside of right now I'm married, and
Yeah.
beside of my uh, uh, um, my fiance,
Yeah.
he's also here, my kids and all that. But my parents are there. My brother, one of them at least, the other one is in another country,
Nice.
Guinea-Bissau. By the way,
Okay.
I'm kind of from Guinea-Bissau also because my father is from there.
Ah, cool.
A
Okay.
beautiful country also to visit.
All the nice
Uh,
islands, isn't it? All the nice
yes,
islands. Yeah.
Guinea-Bissau actually is not just islands. It does
Yeah.
have islands, but is in the continent, in the
Okay.
African continent.
Yeah.
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 But yeah. So my family is mostly not here.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Amazing. And when you said obviously you're applying for roles and you got
Hmm.
a job in a consulting company. When you were applying for jobs, you're obviously
Yes.
going into the market for your first job. Were you just applying? I'm assuming, correct me if I'm wrong, when you were applying, you hadn't heard of OutSystems, you were just applying for jobs. Right?
Correct. Is it a good?
Okay.
It's a good assumption.
Yeah, okay, cool. And did you have any kind of when you were applying for these roles, did you have any preference? Like at the time, were you thinking I'd like to work with this technology, or were you just, some people I think they're like, look, I just wanted to get my first job. I didn't really care what it was.
It's kind of, I just wanted to get a job.
Yeah, okay, okay,
Yeah,
cool.
I was not looking for, okay, I did know at the time I was finishing also some researching, let's say, beginning of researching career,
Yeah.
which I found it was not for me.
Mm,
Yeah, and I wanted something different. I
yeah.
wanted something in the
Mm,
consultancy, and I was applying everywhere I
yeah.
could. And at the time, actually, I got two proposals, which was kind of good. One of them had some friends of mine, friends from school that I
Yeah.
knew. So I thought, okay, perhaps it's a good company
Yeah.
for guys that studied same thing that I did
Yeah.
to go there. So I did choose that company. And I knew nothing about OutSystems actually. The first
Yeah.
day, I remember that the first day they asked me, so OutSystems? Do you know something about OutSystems? No, I have never heard.
Yeah.
Okay, and from there they started saying, okay, just give a check on this and see if it's something you like. Um, I must say that OutSystems and perhaps many have the same feeling that when you start seeing it, you start experimenting things. The easiness, the way you can start doing things in a heartbeat, I fell in love. So it was love at first sight, but other than many of my colleagues, I had to go and study by myself in the company.
Yeah.
From the 2 first months was just studying out systems and
Mm,
also putting in practice what I was learning,
mm,
helping with small tasks and things like that. And after 2 months, they asked me to do the first certification. It was kind of, let's say, too much, but I managed to get the certification,
yeah.
which was good. But here
Was that the
I
traditional web?
traditional Web
Yeah. Okay.
9.
Yeah.
The platform was
Yeah.
in the
Ah,
9
okay.
version at the
Version 9.
time.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes, and I do not advise as a good path. For
Okay.
it's very good to study
Yeah.
the things that OutSystems have
Yeah.
in their site and everything else, and in the community you can find a lot. But um, for me right now, I would say that anyone starting should go through something more structured.
Like a boot camp
The boot
style
camp,
kind of.
yeah, the
Yeah.
boot
Yeah.
camps
Yeah.
perhaps, and something like that. And that would be the best way to start a
Mm,
career in OutSystems. At least if you want to start strong and all
yeah.
that.
Yeah.
For me,
Yeah.
it was. I did start, yes, but I'm after suffering a lot, I
Yeah.
end
Yeah.
up emerging from that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would advise. for anyone starting to go through a boot camp or something like that.
Yeah. And when you were kind of at the learning phase and certifications and reading the kind of material, how long was it from kind of beginning till you were working on projects?
Like I said, from the time I started also working in very small things
Okay.
in a project at the time, doing very small tasks, uh, but only after the certification. I mean, only after 2 months, they started putting some not heavy things, but some more in-depth
Yeah.
tasks on my hands. And from there, I mean, from the 2 months is when I started doing more.
Mm.
Yeah, uh, but it's funny story. When I started, after a few months, I mean 6 months or something like that, I end up going to another project, which was not in OutSystems. It was C
Oh,
Sharp .NET. Yes.
interesting.
So from a certain amount of time, like 1 year or something like that,
Mm.
I did not work with OutSystems, uh, which was good in a term that I learned much more of SQL. I learned
Yeah.
much more about the traditional
Yeah.
code. Um, which is something that actually is good to make you understand how good our system is.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
And what we were doing, what I was doing at the time, when you bring it to OutSystems, you realize, oh, I can do the same thing
Mm.
in much lesser time, and understanding exactly what's going on, instead of focusing or everything in how can I do it and trying to search a lot.
Yeah.
No, OutSystems just helps you in those terms. So it's good to have uh, this turn to C sharp,
Yeah.
because it gave me that sensibility to understand the difference between one and the other,
Yeah.
instead of just hearing things,
Yeah.
knowing in fact what's what.
Yeah. I guess it's good that you got to see it from both sides and kind of experience. And would you say kind of, was it 1 year you worked with traditional?
Yeah, 1 year and something
Yeah.
like, yeah,
So
1 year.
would you say kind of doing that 1 year in traditional when you went back to OutSystems, obviously you had more experience anyway, but it just makes you a
Yes.
better developer in general?
The truth? No.
No.
Because I end up going to a project. I felt like I have forgotten everything I learned
Oh,
from
really?
OutSystems. Yeah, and I have never suffered more than when I came back. I believe that I had like two, 1, 2 or 3 months going to work thinking I do not want to do this. I do not. Just waking up
Yeah.
thinking, but fortunately, I'm not the type of giving up.
Give me up, yeah.
So what I start doing is I realize and that's why I say everyone should go through a boot camp or something like that. I
Mm,
realized that I had to study much more
yeah.
about it, and not just knowing how to scaffold and drag and drop things
Mm,
and like that, but trying to understand the logic behind everything, trying to see the platform as a whole, not just Service Studio,
yeah.
but trying to see all the components that makes OutSystems platform what it really is, going to Service Center, lifetime,
Mm, mm,
integration studio, and all that. Um, so I started studying all the components and trying not from just theory, but since I was in a project that was asking that, I was trying to, okay, understand how it all could help me, and only after that decision of, okay, I have to do better,
mm.
not just come here dragging myself here every day.
Every day, yeah.
Yeah. Just from that decision, is when I started uh, realizing that, okay, this is something that I can continue doing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And when you were doing kind of the C sharp, project,
Mhm.
was there, obviously your experience was kind of dictated by the company, right? You're doing this, then you're
Yes.
doing this, right? So
Yes.
when you'd kind of done, obviously, you did OutSystems, then did C sharp, then they were going to move you back. Was there a part of you that considered going
Mm.
down the traditional high code
I
path?
actually I was the one asking to go back to
Oh, really?
OutSystems.
Okay,
Yes,
okay.
I was in that project, but I was asking them perhaps in 1 year or something like that. I would like to change. And 2 weeks from my conversation with my manager, uh, he came to me, Nivaldo, we do have a project that they need someone that knows about OutSystems. You are the guy, so let's
Nice.
go.
Yeah, that's
It
amazing. That's
was that
amazing.
fast, and I was asking, oh, but I was just thinking 1 year from now or something like that. No, no,
Yeah.
no, it's now or never. So
Yeah,
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 I
yeah.
took that chance, and yeah.
And was it the same version? Was our system still on the same version when you
No,
came back, or was it a
it
different
was in the
version?
10th
10.
version.
Okay.
Yeah,
So that
and
probably
some
kind of
things were different.
complicated things. Yeah.
Yes, it did. And that's one of the reasons also that when I came back to OutSystems, it was not that easy to get in.
Yeah.
Um, what I mean is the fact that I haven't learned that much,
Mm.
I haven't apprehend the concepts that much
Yeah.
before moving to C
In the
sharp.
beginning. Yeah.
In the beginning, yes,
Yeah.
they have changed the version of the
Mm.
of OutSystems, and the fact that I haven't had the opportunity to be in a boot camp and learn it
Yeah.
in depth, all those little components made me come to the 10th version and struggle a bit
Yeah.
more.
Yeah. I think the advantage of the boot camp also is you have peers with you at the same level that you can
Yeah.
speak to, brainstorm. Obviously, you can, when you're in your own time, you can reach out to them and kind of work on things together. Where if you're on your
Yeah,
own, it's kind of you and yourself trying to work everything out.
definitely. And another thing is that more than just the theories that you study, you go through and you can memorize certain things, you start you start testing things, you start
Mm.
going through a path that is not just theory but
Yeah,
hands-on. Uh, I believe that the hands-on is what actually teaches you and improves your abilities, uh, not just in OutSystems, but in general.
mm,
And the bootcamp does it in a structured way and in a way that you can apprehend more information.
mm. Okay, so then you obviously went back to OutSystems and you've stayed with OutSystems since.
Yes.
And I can see obviously you've grown within your career within OutSystems. You're now a champion of OutSystems.
Yeah.
What's the obviously usually these things there's nominations, there's things like that. What's the kind it tends to be linked to recognition for something you've added to the community or value.
Mhm.
What's your kind of reason for being a champion?
Many things, I believe,
Okay.
because I went through many roads,
Yeah, yeah.
many routes. But I would say the main one is the creation of the OutSystems Palop. It's a
Yes.
project, yes, that I've been doing for like three years, I believe, or something like that.
Okay.
Which the idea is to bring out systems to the countries in Africa that speak Portuguese.
Hmm.
Uh, and that from that project, I also received an OutSystems award, a community OutSystems award for going to places that are not that do not have actual OutSystems going on in
Yeah.
a strong way. And the 2023, I also received the champions.
Nice.
Yeah, I've been recognized with that, and which is awesome. But if you would ask me what would make you a champion,
Mm.
uh, I would say that more than anything is giving back to the community. I have learned a lot with the community, and from that I started seeing that okay, I also can contribute something
Yeah, yeah,
within the community, and that is what I started doing by writing some articles, by adding forge components,
mhm,
but mainly what I by being in the OutSystems user group,
yeah,
um, but I would say that what makes me more proud is the project OutSystems Palop project,
yeah,
which comes to my heart. Is something that, uh, beside the community itself,
yeah,
it's something I see as a kind of mission to me,
yeah, yeah,
to bring OutSystems to my home, to Cape
yeah.
Verde, but
It's
not
amazing. Yeah,
Cape Verde and Guinea-Bissau, but
yeah,
not just that, to Angola, to Mozambique.
yeah,
Um, that being said, right now the three countries that actually in PALOP that actually does have OutSystems are Angola, which has it with more
yeah.
expression. After that comes Mozambique, and after that comes Cape Verde. Cape Verde.
Nice, nice. And
Yeah.
was this initiative started by yourself?
Yes, yes.
Okay. And is
The
that
first
something
time,
you thought about for a while, or was that
yes.
something that kind of obviously because it obviously resonates with you because you've come to another country and learned this amazing skill,
Yeah.
and it's something that you've gone through all the challenges of, being stressed out and going this way, that way, and the training, and obviously now you're settled. So is that why you thought now I can give this up, like, to other people in these regions?
The idea is exactly what you are saying. What I mean is, after learning out systems, I started seeing that uh, for many uh, uh, for many geographies, we see that the community by being together, they can improve not just in terms of the abilities that they have, but in terms of the opportunities. And I was thinking, okay, but in Africa we do not have uh, that. Yes,
Yeah,
there are countries that do start having that. For instance, South Africa
yeah,
have a big thing going on there.
yeah,
It's a great market, so
yeah.
it's obvious for obvious reasons.
Hmm.
Our citizens would go there, but for smaller countries, it's much harder. So for me, what I thought, and I still believe that I could give was the awareness that okay, OutSystems is something that um, people want to see, um, but also starting to make companies and governments realize that this is something real. This is
Hmm.
something that can bring jobs. Um,
Yeah,
yeah, and I don't know if I can mention companies here or things like that, but
yeah.
if you see Fidelidad, uh,
Yes. Yeah, I
yeah,
know them. Yeah.
it's one of the biggest OutSystems clients, and it is in Cape Verde, Angola,
Wow.
Mozambique, and all
Hmm.
that.
Yeah.
Other than Fidelidad, there is other companies that are there, and because of that, we start seeing many developers from and in Palop, in Angola, in
Hmm.
Mozambique, in Cape Verde, that are there and are working with OutSystems.
Hmm.
Um, and my hope is that in a near future, we start seeing much more companies searching
Yeah.
people working from Cape Verde. We
Yeah.
start seeing companies going to create a hub in Cape Verde or in Angola or Mozambique, because I believe that there is a great opportunity there. You
Yeah.
can have wages much lower in there
Yeah.
if you go and create a hub there.
Yeah.
Let's say you can have people uh, uh, that are very talented. And one of the things that a previous company, uh, every time I came up with an idea, or every time I came up with just the let's say something saying, okay, we must have something regarding black people or something like
Yeah.
that,
Yeah.
because
Yeah. Yeah.
actually I'm an activist in that term.
Yeah.
They would bring the talent to the table.
Yeah.
Um, and what I want to say is uh, there is a lot of talent in the
Yeah.
Palop, in Africa in general, um, for people that want to see it.
Yeah.
Of course,
Yeah.
if you don't want to see it, you will not
Yeah. You have to
see
be
it.
open to it, don't you? And
Exactly.
I think especially with like, the pandemic and remote working now being such a big thing,
Yeah,
it's it's more possible now. You can tap
definitely,
into countries anywhere in the world that you wouldn't have thought of,
definitely.
and you can get someone who's just as good, willing to work your time zone if needed.
Yeah,
And well, obviously Africa and Europe have quite a good crossover anyway with time
yeah.
zone.
And another thing that
Yeah,
other than talent,
yeah,
another concern, a valid one,
mm,
which is in terms of infrastructures.
yeah,
If
sure.
certain countries do have it or not, I would say that Mozambique, Angola, Cape Verde, all of those three countries, they do have the infrastructure
Mm,
to handle these kind of challenges. So I would say to anyone in terms of any person, any organization, any company that wants to go there, fetch, and seize opportunities there,
yeah,
uh, they do have everything there
yeah.
in terms of
All the
talent,
facilities, yeah,
infrastructure. Yes.
yeah, yeah.
Uh, so a challenge here that I sent to them is go
Give it a
there,
go. Yeah,
and yeah, and see
yeah,
the opportunity for yourself,
yeah,
and you might be amazed for what you will find.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And with the kind of with the follow-up project, how are you kind of training? Are you doing regular boot camps online? Are you going there and doing in-person boot camps? How are you training these people up?
Actually, we are not training.
Okay,
Yeah, we do not do that.
okay,
What we started doing first was creating awareness.
mm,
After that, we started seeing, okay, that going to OutSystems user groups to uh, uh, send the message and teach
yeah,
some things and things like that was the way. And after that, we started entering in contact with universities, trying to
that's
understand that if that is a possibility.
mm,
Right now, we haven't gone until close the deal with the universities.
mm,
It's a path that might take a bit time,
time, yeah,
and since we don't have, let's say, big knowledge in terms of
yeah,
what is the route
sure, yeah,
in
yeah,
those terms. So we are kind of going and seeing what's going on. All that makes a bit harder for us to see
yeah,
um, what in terms of the university, what should be done. But right now, the things we are trying to the problem we are trying to solve is how to bring out systems in terms of knowledge
yeah,
there. but this, in terms of bootcamp, no, we just point to the bootcamps, mostly the ones that speak Portuguese.
Portuguese, yeah.
IT Hub
IT
does
up,
have
yeah.
in Portuguese. Trust
Mm.
Academy also does
I
have
did a
this
podcast with
half.
him, yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah,
nice.
yeah,
Half OutSystems or
yeah. Rafa as well,
Rafael
yeah,
Pereira. Yeah,
yeah,
he also does have something interesting.
yeah.
Um, so we just point out
Nice,
to those guys because they already have the structure
yeah,
to do it, and many of them do have the online courses or boot
yeah,
camps going on. So it made sense
yeah,
to go
yeah.
through there. Yeah,
Yeah, that's amazing. That's a great initiative. And I think going back to the champion question and like you said, the articles and the things that you're kind of trying to do to help others, that probably comes within you from the fact that you are someone who wish you had a lot more, you like you said, you wish you're in a boot camp. So now that you've got that knowledge, you can share that with others who may be
definitely.
who may be you those years ago who thinking I'm thinking
But
I need
yeah.
some help. So I get, yeah, it's really good. It's really good. And going back to OutSystems, the platform itself,
Mhm.
now that you've been working with it for, a number of years, over the time, there's obviously releases every year, small releases, major releases, things like that. What are some kind of the releases that you think that have really taken the platform to the next level and you've been quite impressed with?
Um, I mean, everything in OutSystems I'm quite impressed with. So, but I will talk about little things. Let's say little in OutSystems that I find every time I find amazed. That is amazing. The first one being the aggregates. It's something that every OutSystems developer takes by granted. But if you see the difference between doing something in an aggregate and in a SQL um, statement, it's kind of different. One is simpler,
Mhm,
uh, but from the moment I started working with OutSystems until now, the I'm going to the aggregate because from the aggregate they did something that I find to be amazing, which is okay, you can now convert an aggregate to a SQL statement, and so if you see that okay, right now I need actually a SQL here, you can do transaction
mhm,
transition to from one to the other. That's something great. Um, but if you, in terms of the platform, if you go outside of the Service Studio, if you go, for instance, to Lifetime, the way
mhm.
you do DevOps there, and the way you would do in other technologies, I mean, but just by clicking certain buttons and you have it in different environments, is also something that every time it amazes me, the easiness of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I would say those two. If I were to continue here, I would say a lot more. But yeah,
No, fair enough. That's
and
great.
in ODC, the new let's say the new child of
Yeah,
systems.
yes, the new baby,
Yeah,
yeah.
the new baby. Yeah, I'm getting the feeling, and I was in the hackathon, and they did. I have the feeling that it will be something more amazing
Mm,
than anything else. If we see that, okay, it came from Project New. Okay, now we have ODC, and from that we are starting to see the project Morpheus, and
yeah,
with just a certain prompt, we can have a page and all that. I mean, OutSystems is at least from my point of view, it's making things. It's going much beyond. what I could start thinking, okay, this is amazing.
Yeah,
Oh, perhaps no, perhaps we can find much
yeah,
amazing things to
yeah,
bring on the table,
yeah.
and they are certainly doing that.
Yeah, I think they're definitely trying to stay ahead of the curve and make
Yeah,
sure the kind of everything. Obviously, they get feedback from people as well and things like that.
yeah.
And obviously, it leads into my next question. And as someone who loves the platform, you may not have an answer, but is there anything that the platform doesn't offer yet that it may be a frustration that you'd like to see in the future?
Okay. Uh, yeah, I would say yes, because perhaps one thing, because I'm not, I usually don't say that I'm a front-end developer,
Hmm.
because I don't consider myself as one.
Yeah,
Uh, so for me, what would make sense uh, is having something that, okay, if you see the different projects in OutSystems, you kind of see that they have a lot of similarities, okay? Unless you have someone, some OutSystems front-end developer to make something an extra mile, and going for the customization and all that. Unless you have that, you will kind of fall short in terms of having a customized product. So if they were to have something, I would say, to have a way of doing customizations in terms of what the platform have. I don't know how,
yeah,
but it would be awesome to have different layouts, just not just by default, but also by imagining it. Okay, I want to do this,
yeah,
and having a, I don't know, a kind of scaffolding, or a kind of feature that would allow me to do exactly what I envisioned um, from there. Yeah.
uh, amazing. And since you've been working on OutSystems projects and you're the end customer now, if I'm correct,
Yes.
um, is there any kind of noteworthy projects that you can talk about that you're quite proud to be a part of?
Mm. Yeah. I, there are two projects. One of them was a change, was a game changer for me, which was a project in Santander, Portugal. That actually, that is the project that made me, let's say, who I am right now.
Okay,
In terms of, I learned a lot about the agile methodology. I learned a lot of, in terms of, it's the project that made me believe that I could deliver something
nice.
extra, yeah, it was something much better, because they were giving the let's say, the freedom to develop things, but also the pressure to to deliver fast,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
and the combination of all that. I will say that it was the best project in terms of things that I learned, uh, but it was the kind of worst project in terms of the pressure
pressure, stress.
they
Yeah,
yeah, because it was something that we worked from several weekends and things like that,
wow.
extra hours, a lot of them, but it's the project that made me who I am right now. Yeah,
Hmm.
in terms of confidence, in terms of
Yeah,
know-how, in terms of agile methodology. That project, yeah, it was kind of something special. Another one is something that, from my previous company, it was a project in Resolution Life. It was something big, and it is something that marked me, because um, it was in different geographies. It also, in terms of architecture, it was kind of complex. and it's something that I enjoyed because of all the little complex things that it had there, and seeing how OutSystems was dealing with all that.
Mm.
Uh, what I mean is not just small projects or simpler projects that we can do with OutSystems, but something very big, something very structured in terms of architecture, very complex. So yeah, those two projects are the ones that I would mention.
Amazing. And someone who's worked on these various projects, and I think it's quite it's there for people to see. You see it on LinkedIn all the time that obviously OutSystems is growing. There's more customers, big brand names that kind of adopting
Yeah.
low code and OutSystems. Why do you think more customers are now open to low code compared to a few years? I think there's still a bit of kind of hesitance, but I think there's much
Mm.
larger scale companies now adopting low code. And what's your views on why that is?
Uh, is is the world we are living on. I have seen a video in Instagram or something like that, on Instagram or something, that shows we are doing everything now, just running, and the guy just wakes up and he's running to brush his teeth and taking a bath and everything else. Right now we are living in that world, which
Yeah,
is kind of everything is doing running, and what our systems allows you is to do your digital transformation in a more rapid way, but also in a way that you can scale it. You can have productive developers that do not go through weekends every time and things like that. Yeah.
yeah,
So that is the plus for OutSystems. So if you are a company that wants to be ahead in the game and wants to bring digital transformation in a more rapid way, um, perhaps you would want to see what OutSystems can bring to the table. Yeah, give it a chance, and it might surprise you.
great. And like I said, there's still some companies who are not, I'd say, kind of for it, and there's developers who are not for it. You may have, when you're talking, especially like with your Palop project and things like that, when you're
Mhm.
kind of talking to people about low code and out systems, you may come across people who no, 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 I'm all right. I'm going to stick to traditional. No, I don't believe in this low code. What's your message to those people? I mean, if you have spoken to them or if you haven't, but to those type of people who just think, no, it's good for these small applications, but that's about it. What would be your message to those?
Yeah, I would say first, try it. Second, I would challenge them. This is not a challenge of mine. It's a challenge that half OutSystems, half
Yeah,
Rafael Pereira, an OutSystems MVP does, which is he says something like, okay, if you are skeptic regarding OutSystems, or if you just believe that what you are doing is better, um, let's bring to the table a user story, uh, and we can try to see, okay, you just bring five features, I bring five features, and we put it on the table, and we ask a junior person to from your technology and from our system to do it in a certain amount of time,
yeah.
and at the end we will see
It's
uh,
on. Yeah, yeah,
uh,
yeah.
yeah, what comes up, and
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's cool.
there is
Yeah,
not other way to understand in terms of not just theories, but what can bring more value in lesser time. And right now companies are trying to understand exactly that, what can bring more value in lesser time. So I would steal this challenge from Rafa, and make
yeah, definitely.
the same challenge to everyone that right now is skeptic in terms of OutSystems. But yeah, this challenge and the other challenge of try it.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
yeah.
Great. I like that challenge. Definitely a good one by Rafa. And just on a final note, obviously you've touched on a few things, but what's your kind of going forward? You've kind of, you've done, you've had quite a very cool, interesting journey in my opinion.
Thanks.
What's your kind of goals and aspirations going forward, things you're trying to achieve? Obviously, Palop is one of them, most probably.
Yeah.
But is there anything else you're kind of looking forward to achieving in the near future?
Yeah, I do have uh, personal projects in terms of that. I do have some things that I want to do. Um, Seeing from where I came in terms of not just a small island
Mm,
to study here in Portugal, and after that, going to consultancy and struggling and overcoming that, and learning OutSystems. And every day I see that I am still learning. Um, I know that I'm not the best one. I'm not the worst one. Perhaps I'm a guy that uh, makes more effort in certain things to overcome certain difficulties. And so I see myself first. I still have a lot to learn, so I will continue in the same path, let's say, learning and being an OutSystems developer a bit more. But after that, I have had opportunities like tech lead. I think I did a good job, but I want to start going through that role and keeping myself there before going to something like uh, a project manager or
mhm.
something in those terms. That is the road that I see
Yeah, okay.
myself going. At least,
More oversee
uh,
the project than kind of develop.
yes.
Yeah,
Not right now because
yeah,
I still have to. I want to learn more
yeah,
things. I want
yeah,
to be near the community.
yeah,
Um, but with time, I want to displace myself from being just the a developer to the overseeing projects, like you were saying,
yeah,
and continuing being in the community always.
yeah.
But yeah, that is the route that I'm seeing myself right now in.
That's amazing. That's amazing. So I appreciate you taking the time. It was really good to
Uh,
talk to you, and I think your journey is definitely very interesting, and people should definitely listen to it. And even the things you're working on, I think is definitely it's a good cause. You're creating awareness
Thanks.
in countries that these are good, great opportunities, and you're bringing something new that can change people's lives as well.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, I hope I can inspire someone with that project. I hope more can join us. And yeah, thank you also for the invitation again and for having me here with you.
No problem. Thanks, Nivaldo. Take care.
Thanks.
Thank you for listening to today's episode, which is brought to you by iTrack. We are a leading staffing firm that solely specializes in supplying both contract and permanent low-code professionals to organizations globally. Navigating the niche landscape of the low-code market requires the best talent, and we recognize its critical importance for our clients. Whether you're a company looking to strengthen your team, an individual seeking the next career move, or someone entirely new to the world of low-code, we're here for you. Our extensive experience and in-depth market knowledge enables us to quickly pinpoint the ideal candidates while offering expert advice and support at every stage of your low-code journey. Reach out to us through our website or connect with me directly on LinkedIn. I'd be happy to assist you. Thank you once again for joining us today. We'll be back next week with another insightful episode. Until then, take care.